So your first step is to drain the tofu. I usually open it up just a little bit and hold it over and allow all the water to just drain on out of there. And then I take a cloth, place the tofu onto the cloth. Then you can take another cloth, place that one right on top, and then just press down on it. This is the fast way to get most of the liquid out. You could also put like a book on top of it and allow it to drain out. So see, it still stays together and it's not as wet anymore. That's the first step. Then you're going to take the tofu and slice it into pieces. I'll go ahead and grab the one that we've sliced already to make things a little bit quicker. I'm going to slice them into even pieces and place them onto wax paper. I like to make sure that they're nice and even, making sure that each piece is getting all the full ingredients. So our first ingredient that we're going to put on is the sea kelp. This is organic sea kelp delight seasoning. I just sprinkle it onto each piece. Our next ingredient that we're going to use is cumin. I think cumin gives a nice flavor. I use it quite often in a lot of my dishes. Again, paying attention that you get all the seasonings in all the different places. The next thing we're going to use is the garlic powder. I love garlic. Adds such a nice flavor to your food. Very good. Tasty. Smells so good in here already. The next thing that I use is Old Bay. I just sprinkle some Old Bay onto the top. Now, so that we can give it some color, we're going to add some paprika. And this is what gives it that golden brown color. Next, you want to go ahead and start flipping them on to the other side so that you can season the other side. Allow all those seasonings to get really focused into the tofu. Really nice there. And while that's going on, I go ahead and start to mix my batter that I use to shape the tofu in so that it can have a nice crunchy feel. Okay, so I'm just going to make a batter with some cornmeal and flour. This is the extra coarse one. You can use fine or medium. This is what I have available. And just some flour, general all-purpose flour. So the next step is to shake all these ingredients up together. And then in this mix, I like to add a little bit of salt. It's just a Mediterranean fine sea salt. And some onion powder. And just a hint of chili powder. Again, just like to get all these ingredients all mixed up together nicely. And that should be enough for us to get the tofu covered. So next up is I just take my tofu and cover it in the batter on both sides, and then place it back onto the wax paper. Now it's also nice if you prepare some of these in advance. You can always have some ready just for already prepped to cook. You don't have to go through the whole process over again. And they taste really good. And while you're going through this process, it's smart to go ahead and start getting your oil hot. You can use vegetable oil or olive oil. I use vegetable oil because it's a little less expensive. You also can start doing your prep work for the tartar sauce, which we're going to make next. Very simple recipe. Because what's seafood without tartar? Alright, so now that we have these all covered, we're going to start heating up the oil so that we can fry them. And make sure that you have everything set out in advance so that when you're ready to drain them, you'll be able to drain them properly. I just use paper bag. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put some oil in the pot. I like to kind of get it hot in advance, making sure that the tofu is going to be covered like a deep fry. That's what helps it get tender and crispy. So while that's heating up is when I'll start to make my tartar sauce. Next step is we're going to make some tartar sauce. I usually start with my just mayo. And get a good amount in there. Depending on how many people you're making tartar sauce for. And we'll get some relish in there. And again, I don't really measure. I always go kind of off of how I feel. Now with the spicy brown mustard, we need to open this up. This gives it a nice zing, flavor, zest. Put a little sprinkle of that in there. Next I'll add some ketchup. And I hear my oil starting to get heated up over there. And a little bit of hot sauce. Thanks to my trusty dad for teaching me how to make tartar sauce, except I veganized it by using the just mayo and food. Next we're going to start on the cabbage. I love cabbage. It's so good for you. So we're going to take a look at this cabbage and say, how do you want to be cut today? And I'm just going to start right about here. Starting with just half of the head of cabbage. Should be enough for us. Beautiful cabbage. I've already peeled the outer layer. So now again I'm just going to follow the natural flow and slice the cabbage in thin slices. So I'm going to do kind of a stir fry. And when the oil starts to sound quiet over there is when I'll start working with it. Test it again. And then I'm going to take it one more time and just slice this way as well. Voila. So now that our oil looks like it's just about ready. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Once you hear that, it's time to drop it in. So we'll start one by one, just putting the pieces of tofu into the oil. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. Just about those many pieces should be good. And while that's going nicely, we're going to go ahead and get some oil into the pan for the stir-fried cabbage. I turn that on to a medium heat. I love doing things in spirals also when I'm cooking. So, getting the oil to go all around the pan beautifully. And while that's heating up, I'm going to also go ahead and slice up my onion. Next, we're going to slice some onions. I like to take off the top and bottom pieces and then just peel off that bigger part and get to the circular area and just slice it along with the lines, paying attention to the sacred geometry within this vegetable. Giving thanks for this vegetable and the time that it took to grow it and the hands that grew it. Alright. So now that got those kind of chopped up a little bit, the oil is cooking over here, the seafood is cooking, the rice is cooking. We want everything to kind of be ready all at the same time is the goal. So I'm just going to check on the fish over here. You can take a spatula and maybe move them around a little bit. Start seeing it getting a little crunchy. I may just want to turn that down just slightly. I see it's cooking really fast, but it's looking good. Alright. So now that this oil over here is heated up for the cabbage, I'm ready to go ahead and drop in some onions. And allow that just to start frying up nice. You want to cook those until they're a little bit translucent. And I add a little bit of oregano into there, a little bit of sea salt. And this mix, I think we're going to do spicy today. I'm feeling the love. So we'll go ahead and add some red pepper. Alright, now it seems like our fish is just about ready to come out, so we have our paper bag already set, ready here to help to drain out most of the oil. Well, I use paper bag because it's more sustainable than using paper towel, and we're reusing this, so it helps to drain the oil really nicely, makes everything taste good. So I just make sure I get a lot of the oil off before I even put it onto the bag. And then I put it there. You can just draining each piece nicely. That looks delicious. Smells delicious too. And then once you get the tartar sauce along with that, woo! I just look forward to having some. We're going to go ahead and drop the rest of the seafood pieces so that they can cook. And we're also going to go ahead and get the cabbage brewing. So these onions are looking beautiful. And I make sure that I get a good amount of onions because I like to be able to taste it with my cabbage. I put some of that in there. And here's my other ingredient that we're going to add to the cabbage, some lime to give it some zest. Oh, and one other thing, as soon as you take your fish out, it's a good idea to kind of like at a high pace to just sprinkle it with a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. This is what I used to do. And you can also squeeze a little bit of lime. Squeeze a little bit of lime. Okay. We're going to do the same with our cabbage. Get some lime in there. And then just allowing this to stir fry. You don't have to cook it until it's really soft. I like mine kind of crispy. It tastes very good like that. And it also retains more of the vitamins. The more you cook your food, the more of the vitamins that it loses. So it's good to try your best to eat them raw if you can. That's like the best way. But a lot of these flavors do come out when you cook them. So just cooking them al dente or stir fry helps to retain more of that. This is looking delicious. Just gonna let that cook up. And then we're gonna check on these pieces of fish over here. Alright. Check on our rice. Going nice. This looks so good. I'm excited to taste it too. Cabbage, woo, onions, tofu, rice. Oh, and don't forget the tartar sauce. So I want to say a special thank you also to our executive producer, Nuri Amira. She's an excellent producer. She knows how to keep things going, knows how to set it up, break it down, everything in between as well. Great person. Great video recording service. Alright. So again, we're just gonna hype this up just for a little while because I want to get that stir fry feel to it. So you kind of, in a sense, are gonna just burn the food a little bit just to get that stir fry sense to it. So I turn that heat up. Start letting it get in there. Hiking it up with the heat, but keeping it moving at the whole time. That's the key to a good stir fry, keeping it moving. Alright, so right about this point is when we're going to take out the other fish. Draining out most of the oil.